Yes.
Okay, let's start. Om. Om
Hare
Agni.
Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om
Om Agnyatimirandasya
Jnanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Utapatakalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shya Shri Rupam Sakajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Swavadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapte Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanushtute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kirpa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Shashwin, for the wonderful Mangalacharan. Prabhuji, should we read the text or we hand over to you? Prabhuji, you are unmute. You are muted.
I'm flexible, Mataji. So if you'd like to read the text, that's good. I don't mind. Whatever you prefer.
Okay, Shashwin, continue. Om Namo Bhagavate.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayan.
Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashta.
Nasthaprayesva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Kurvana yatra karmani Bhagavatchi Shaya Yasakrit Grunanti Gunanamani Krishnasyanus Paranti Cha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Shashwin.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Shashwin. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Shashwin. You are the best. I miss you all the time. I'm thinking of you all the time. You've grown up, you're growing up, you're getting taller. Your hair is getting very nice and stylish, but your devotion is just growing and growing. I like your hairstyle. It's really nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Shashwin. So nice to hear you chanting. The thing I look forward to the most when it comes to doing these classes is hearing you. So when I logged in and you weren't there, the first thing I said to Mataji is, "Where is Shashwin?" But now you came and you did the Mangala Charan and you read the text. Now I feel enlivened and I feel like now I have some upliftment to maybe share something on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, Shashwin. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna. It's so
Prabhuji,
nice. Hare Krishna, Shashwin.
Prabhuji, it's just Krishna's mercy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's so sweet you understand that. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we're on text, Canto 1, text 5, text 36. So Shashwin's kindly read the Sanskrit, so we can just read the translation and the purport. It's quite a long purport, but that's okay. Shall I just read it through, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji, if you
Okay.
want, we can help you. But if you want to read it, that's fine.
Okay, so why don't you do the translation? I'm happy. I'll read the purport. It'll be good for me to read it. So if you read the translation, then I can read the purport.
Okay, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 36. Translation. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his name, and his qualities. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Okay, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
An expert devotee of the Lord can mold his life in such a way that while performing all kinds of duties, either for this or the next life, he can constantly remember the Lord's name, fame, qualities, etc. The order of the Lord is distinctly there in the Bhagavad Gita. One should work only for the Lord in all spheres of life. In every sphere of life, the Lord should be situated as the proprietor. According to the Vedic rites, even in the worship of some demigods like Indra, Brahma, Saraswati, and Ganesh, the system is that in all circumstances, the representation of Vishnu must be there as Yageshvara, or the controlling power of such sacrifices. It is recommended that a particular demigod be worshipped for a particular purpose, but still the presence of Vishnu is compulsory in order to make the function proper. Apart from such Vedic duties, even in our ordinary dealings, for example, in our household affairs or in our business or profession, we must consider that the result of all activities must be given over to the supreme enjoyer, Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has declared himself to be the supreme enjoyer of everything, the supreme proprietor of every planet, and the supreme friend of all beings. No one else but Lord Sri Krishna can claim to be the proprietor of everything within his creation. A pure devotee remembers this constantly, and in doing so, he repeats the transcendental name, fame, and qualities of the Lord, which means that he is constantly in touch with the Lord, identical with his name, fame, etc., and therefore to be associated with his name, fame, etc., constantly means to actually associate with the Lord. The major portion of our monetary income, not less than 50%, must be spent to carry out the order of Lord Krishna. Not only should we give the profit of our earning to this cause, but we must also arrange to preach this cult of devotion to others, because that is also one of the orders of the Lord. The Lord definitely says that no one is more dear to him than one who is always engaged in the preaching work of the Lord's name and fame all over the world. The scientific discoveries of the material world can also be equally engaged in carrying out his order. He wants the message of the Bhagavad Gita to be preached amongst his devotees. It may not be so done amongst those who have no credit of austerities, charity, education, etc. Therefore, the attempt must go on to convert unwilling men to become his devotees. Lord Chaitanya has taught a very simple method in this connection. He has taught the lesson for preaching the transcendental message through singing, dancing, and refreshment. As such, 50% of our income may be spent for this purpose. In this fallen age of quarrel and dissension, if only the leading and wealthy persons of society agree to spend 50% of their income in the service of the Lord, as it is taught by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is absolute certainty of converting this hell of pandemonium to the transcendental abode of the Lord. No one will disagree to partake in a function where good singing, dancing, and refreshment are administered. Everyone will attend such a function, and everyone is sure to feel individually the transcendental presence of the Lord. This alone will help the attendants associate with the Lord and thereby purify themselves in spiritual realization. The only condition for successfully executing such spiritual activities is that they must be conducted under the guidance of a pure devotee who is completely free from all mundane desires, fruitive activities, and dry speculations about the nature of the Lord. No one has to discover the nature of the Lord. It is already spoken by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita, especially, and in all other Vedic literatures generally. We have simply to accept them in toto and abide by the orders of the Lord. That will guide us to the path of perfection. One can remain in his own position. No one has to change his position, especially in this age of variegated difficulties. The only condition is that one must give up the habit of dry speculation at becoming one with the Lord. And after giving up such lofty, puffed up vanities, one may very submissively receive the orders of the Lord in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam from the lips of a bona fide devotee whose qualification is mentioned above. That will make everything successful without a doubt. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll just read the translation again. While performing duties to the order of Sri Krishna, personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his names, and his qualities. So this is a very nice section. Everything's a very nice section of the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have Narada Muni here telling Vyasadeva, or speaking to Vyasadeva about what he learnt from the Bhakti Vedantas, from what he learnt from the great souls who are full of knowledge and full of bhakti. And we also have our own Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who we are hearing from through Srimad Bhagavatam, who we are hearing from through his devotees about the glories of pure devotional service. And here Narada Muni is breaking things down. It's kind of, he's like speaking from our perspective, where we are doing karma yoga and trying to purify our actions and make it bhakti yoga. So while performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his names, and his qualities. So we can take from this that we understand that everything we do is for the service of the Lord. Everything we have is not ours, but it belongs to the Lord. This is our main situation, that we are serving Krishna. We are not trying to artificially accumulate more and more from this material world. The more we try to accumulate from this material world, the more frustrated we become, the more stressed we become, the more anxiety we face. We are only going to be happy. We're only going to experience satisfaction within the heart if we understand everything belongs to Krishna. And when whatever we are doing, we are remembering Krishna. We are remembering the names of Krishna. We're remembering the qualities of Krishna. We are really mercy cases. We are only able to do what we're doing now because of the unlimited mercy that has been bestowed upon us. We find it quite difficult to understand why Krishna, we blame Krishna, but we think, why is Krishna, why after so many years of practicing Krishna consciousness, am I still not reaching the platform of bhava? Why am I not reaching the platform of nishta even? Why am I not overcoming my anarthas? And the reason is we've spent billions of lifetimes in this material world, billions. So now if we think of it as a fraction, those of us that like maths, you've had billions and billions of lives, and then there's one life out of the billions. And these billions of lives, what we have done, in all these billions of lives, what we have done is we have accumulated dirt. And that dirt is in our heart, that dirt has polluted our mind. And then in this one lifetime, we've come to Krishna consciousness. And we're expecting that billions of lifetimes within a fraction, within one lifetime is all gone. Within just, if we look at it in that sense, it is impossible. But by Mahaprabhu's mercy, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the impossible is becoming possible. There is light at the end of this dark tunnel of the material world. But we have to be patient. Dear devotees, we really need to be patient with our Krishna consciousness. If we really want to have sustained enthusiasm, if we really want to have sustained determination, this must come with patience. It must come with patience that Krishna will purify my heart. I am going to advance. I am going to cleanse my heart to the stage that I will love Krishna. If we are impatient, then we are acting from the mode of passion. And what mode of passion means is I need to see a result quickly. And if we need to see a result quickly and the result does not come, we become frustrated. The other thing is the result will come, and when the result comes, we're not satisfied and we hanker for more. So the problem is that we are not patient. If we become patient, then our determination will sustain itself. Our enthusiasm will keep accelerating, and we will be doing this from a place of internal satisfaction. If we are satisfied, then we just continue what we're doing. If we're not satisfied, we're always looking for something new to do. What's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? Krishna consciousness is it's a transcendental science, and what it means by it's a science is that we can experience whether we are satisfied or not. And because we can experience our satisfaction, because we have the ability, Krishna has given us the ability to experience satisfaction, then we are not going to be disturbed if our advancement is not going at the speed that we want it to go at. So we must practice Krishna consciousness from the point, from the place of mode of goodness. We must practice Krishna consciousness from the place of the mode of goodness, because if we practice Krishna consciousness from the platform of goodness, then what will naturally happen is that our frustration will no longer be frustration. And when we want more, we only want more to increase our service. But we're not doing that we're not wanting to increase our service for our pleasure, but we'll be wanting to increase our service for the pleasure of the Lord. So one very symptomatic way of understanding whether we are satisfied is whether we want more service. And we want more and more and more service for the pleasure of Krishna and for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas. Not necessarily because we want an extra thing to do so that we become more prominent in society. which is another big anartha for many, for most of us, especially when we're in an Indian body. It's drilled into us from the minute we are born that we must be respected in society. So then we work for that respect. And then what happens if that respect doesn't come? We get frustrated. But actually, what we can do is we can practice amanina manadena. That actually we can practice, let me just give respect to everyone. And if respect doesn't come my way, that's okay. But let me give respect to everyone. We're not here to earn respect. We're here to respect others. And if we respect others, we are feeling, and if we are respectful towards others, then we understand that we're actually doing something that the Lord wants us to do. And if others are acting in a difficult way, if others are acting in a way that we think, oh, look, they're not acting according to the order of Sri Krishna. They're just doing things for their own sense gratification. They may not be acting according to what this verse is saying. But if they are not doing it, that's their problem. That's not our problem. Why do we get caught up so much in what others are doing? And dear devotees, one thing we must really understand, if another devotee is doing something and it's getting under our skin, sometimes we notice the wrongdoings of others, but we're not so disturbed. We just notice that they're doing something. And we may have to take action. We may need to report them to their authority, or we may need to take some sort of action, but we're not so disturbed. And sometimes devotees can do stuff and it disturbs us like anything. It gets right under our skin. And when it gets right under our skin, we just cannot bear it. And we need to tell someone, we need to talk to other devotees about this person. We may even be rude or brash towards the devotee who's doing this. Dear devotees, if this is happening, we must understand the reason it's getting under our skin so much, the reason it's really, really getting us, is because we have that exact same fault ourselves. That's the reason things get under our skin. And you'll notice, just watch yourself. The next time you notice devotees who are doing something wrong and it's not disturbing you, it's probably because you don't have that fault yourself. You're not, that's not one of your weaknesses. But if you see a devotee doing something wrong and it's really getting to you, it's because you have it. It's because you have it. And I've experienced this, and I've noticed this, that sometimes something just gets to me so much. And when things get to me so much, I realize, after I think about it and I introspect, I realize, oh my God, you know what? This is me. This is a mirror coming right back at me, and I'm experiencing what I'm like. I'm experiencing what I am like. And Prabhupada speaks here about giving 50% of our income to progress Krishna consciousness. And this is one of the things. So I do service. I do some service. I look after the finance at the Gurukul here. So I notice, and some parents give extra Lakshmi for donation, some don't give. And some parents, when they don't give donation, I start to get upset, or I start to feel, oh, how can they do this? And what's happening? And it gets under my skin. And then I think about it, why is it getting under my skin? It gets under my skin because sometimes I don't like to give Lakshmi myself unless I know exactly where that Lakshmi is going. I've got this thing, because I'm an accountant. It's like a conditioning that unless I know where that Lakshmi is going to be spent, and it's going to be spent in the right way, and this and that, I overdo it, I overcook my head, then what happens? Then I'll feel like I can give. Otherwise, I feel like I'm holding on. I'm holding on to giving. And then what I see is that when other devotees are holding on and they can't give, it gets to me. Because in my project, in the project I'm doing service, I'm expecting all devotees to give Lakshmi. But in other projects where other devotees are doing, I sometimes don't feel ready to give the Lakshmi. So then what happens is I am not giving in other projects because it's not a project I'm doing service in, but I'm giving to the project I am doing service in. But then when others are not giving Lakshmi to the project where I'm doing service, I'm feeling disturbed. But why am I feeling disturbed? Because I have this myself. I'm like this myself, and I'm feeling so disturbed. It gets to me like anything. And I realize the reason it's getting to me so much is because this is one of my own anarthas. This is one of my own faults. So this is how we know whether or not we have something is getting under your skin. How do you know it's getting under your skin? Because you need to talk to other people about it. You need to tell somebody, oh my God, how could they do this? Why are they like this? Then even if you don't mention their name, but you need to just say that we know it's getting to us. That means that we have this ourselves. When I notice sometimes someone is doing the organizing of something, they're organizing, they're this, organize that, organize this, organize that. And then I get disturbed. Why do I get disturbed? Because I'm also like that. I need to organize it. I need to do this. And I feel I could do it better. And it disturbs me because I'm very similar. So you just notice when others are doing something to us or others are just being in a certain way, the only reason it's disturbing us is because we have it ourselves. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati speaks about this, that if we see the fault in others, introspect, go within and see in ourselves. Otherwise, the faults of others, they won't disturb you so much if you don't have it yourself. You'll know, you may be, because you're intelligent, you may see that they're doing something wrong, but it won't get to you so much. But if it gets to you, this is Krishna telling you that you need to work on this yourself, and don't deny it. Don't deny it, go in. If you deny it more, you won't go in and you'll never get over it. But if we just try hard to see where is it coming from, when do I do this, where is it coming from, it will click, and then we can work on it. And then when we overcome that, when the same thing happens again, you'll notice you're less disturbed because you've worked on it. So this is the process of self-realization. We realize the self. Realizing the self means realizing our true nature as spirit soul, as Jiva Swarupoy, Krishna Nitya Das, that our eternal constitutional position is just to be the eternal servant of Krishna. Yes, but while we find our true self, while we realize our true self, we also realize what our anarthas are. We realize what these shortcomings are. And when we realize what our anarthas are, and we realize what our shortcomings are, we can work on them. And then we're thinking, why is it taking so long? Because there's just so much dirt to get rid of. But we have to be open to finding the dirt. How do you find the dirt? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. We cleanse the heart through the chanting of the holy name. We cleanse the heart through reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We cleanse the heart in association of advanced souls, because in association of advanced souls, we realize, wow, they're really Krishna conscious. I want to be like them. And as we cleanse the heart, and as we cleanse the heart, and as we cleanse the heart, just like when you clean your room, more and more dirt comes out. And as you see the dirt come out, you're feeling satisfied. The dirt's coming out. But you only feel satisfied that the dirt's coming out when you see the dirt. You don't feel satisfied that the dirt's coming out unless you know the dirt's coming out. If you're cleaning your room and you don't see any dirt come out, you don't feel so satisfied. You just think, okay, I've cleaned my room. But when you see all that dirt come out, you're like, yeah, I did some good cleaning today. Look at that. I cleaned under that cupboard. I moved the sofa. I moved the bed, and I cleaned here and I cleaned there, and all is clear and I all gone in the bin, and I feel clean. Hare Krishna. We feel great. So similarly, when we see these faults within ourselves, when we see it, we shouldn't feel that it's not me. Don't deny it. When it's getting under our skin, the fault is there, it's within me, and we can feel amazing that Krishna has revealed this to us. And when Krishna has revealed this to us, then we work on it. And there's plenty of ways we can work on it. Yes, there's transcendental ways through devotional service. Sometimes there's practical things, but because we know what it is, we can stay grounded. It's not about the other person. The other person could be doing this, could be doing that, could be doing this, but we have to think about, why does it affect me so much? We're practicing Krishna consciousness. We need to fly our own. Who cares about what someone else is doing wrong? That's not our problem. That's their Krishna consciousness. That's their spiritual life. That's their journey. They may do this one thing wrong and doing 100 things right. So, okay, that's their thing. They'll work on it. Let them work on it in their time. But if we're doing something, if we're noticing that our Krishna consciousness is being affected, our mind is being affected, we have an opportunity to grow. And this is our great fortune. So this is what Narada Muni is saying here to Vyasadeva, that one should always constantly remember Krishna, his name, his qualities. We won't be able to remember him if we're remembering the qualities of what someone else is doing wrong. Remember the different things that they've done and said. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us. The tongue is there to chant Hare Krishna. The tongue has been given to us to glorify the devotees. So, yes, in this purport, Prabhupada speaking a lot about engaging our Lakshmi in the service of the Lord. And yes, here, 50% of our income should be spent for this purpose. And even if we're not at 50%, because that's, that could be that can feel a bit, oh my God, I can't give 50%. But maybe that should be a goal, when I can give 50%. But while we're on the journey, are we giving 10%? Are we giving something? Because if we give something, especially from the Grihastha ashram, I mean, actually, this is mainly for those of us in the Grihastha ashram. If we give some of our income to the Lord, then we don't get so bogged down by the material energy chasing money. Because money, if we really think about it, it's just chanchal. It doesn't stay. So we're running after something that's not going to stay there. It's like you run after money, but your financial situation is in your karma. It's there. I mean, through your endeavor, it might get a bit more, it might get a bit less, but your financial situation is in your karma. Your endeavor will increase it a little bit, your lack of endeavor will decrease it a little bit, but overall, it's in your karma. It's there. What you're meant to have is there. So if you got bad karma with Lakshmi, then you could run around chasing it, and then you send your car to get a service and an MOT, and you get the biggest bill in the world. You never thought, oh my God, I spent £1,000 just fixing my car. But why? Because it's not in your karma to have the Lakshmi. And someone else who doesn't do much, they get big inheritance. So here you go, £5 million house, this, that. They were being lazy their whole life, but that's their karma. And it's not luck. It happens by that person has earned it in a previous life, and they're just getting the results now. So rather than chasing the material energy, we can think about how we can make our lives simpler. And the more simpler we make our lives, the more we're able to give, actually. There's this myth that we're able to be, a lot of devotees even say this, I'll earn more and then I'll be able to give more. Some do. Some are really good at that. But most of us, we get sucked in. We get sucked into the material energy. And for some of us, actually, the simpler we are, the more we're able to give, because we're just less attached. So we have to create this culture of simplicity. And this culture of simplicity starts with waking up early to put the hand in the bead bag and chanting Hare Krishna, because that is that is how to live a simple life. The way to live a simple life is to rise early in the morning. That's a simple life. When we don't rise early in the morning, and today I didn't rise early in the morning, and I would have gone a long walk now to chant all my rounds, or most of my rounds. And I felt my mind all day was just this, that. And you can see that because the mind is like this, that the whole day, how can we be simple? How can we live a simple life if the mind is always like this? We can only be simple if our mind has been brought under the control, and the mind can only be brought under control by the self. So we have to act according to the real self, according to the soul. So yes, Krishna says that he is the, as Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport, he's the Lord of all the planets, and he is the Lord of everything, and he's the Yageshwar. Yes, Krishna is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the Lord of all the planets and the demigods. Everything does belong to him. No one else, it says in the purport, no one else can say that everything belongs to me, because all the ingredients of the material world belong to him. If this, imagine, not even imagine, it's a fact. All the senses come from Krishna. Right? When he's created this material world, he's created the living entities and then the ingredients that make up this world, like the modes of goodness, passion, ignorance. And then the fact that we have ears, nose, eyes, lips, tongue, the sense of touch, the sense of smell, the sense of sight, the sense of hearing. All these senses have come from Krishna. So these are the ingredients that make up the material world. Everything belongs to him. So if everything belongs to him, we're only going to be happy if we connect everything we have to him. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. You're going to make, it's like how to fix a jigsaw puzzle. Well, just connect it with whatever's really happening in that puzzle. And what's happening in the puzzle is usually what's going on in the middle. That's like, oh, and how do you, the best way to do a puzzle is just to build the ends first. Then you can just work your way and get the middle. So this is the thing. How are you going to work? How are we going to work what are our boundaries, if you like? What are we going to fence ourselves with? We fence ourselves with devotee association. And if we have devotee association, we are able to do everything else. Just like when Lord Chaitanya is instructing Rupa Goswami on cultivating the Bhakti Lata Bij, we have to ring fence this garden to grow the seeds of Bhakti all the way to Krishna. We need to ring fence this garden with devotee association. If we are overwhelmed, not overwhelmed, if we are induced with devotee association, this is the foundation for a deep spiritual practice. This is the foundation for deep spiritual practice. So we must learn to associate, and we must learn to be intelligent enough to understand who to associate with, and be risky enough to inconvenience ourselves to get good association. Association is everything. Even if someone is so-called senior, but they're gossiping all the time, not good association. And we don't have to tell them, oh, you're a gossiper, I don't want to associate with you. No. If they're a gossiper, even if they've been in the movement so many years, that's not going to help your spiritual life. So be intelligent and associate with devotees who talk about Krishna, who talk about how to serve Krishna, who talk about how to give the heart to Krishna, who encourage us to associate with advanced souls, devotees who encourage us to practice our spiritual life in a certain way, devotees who know us well enough to understand what our nature is, what is our nature. It's important to know what is our nature, and devotees can help us. So this is our wish for our spiritual life, that we seek good association. We can pray for good association, devotional association, and we're happy to recognize our faults. We're happy to recognize where we need to improve. We're happy to recognize and introspect and understand if something is getting under my skin, this is because I have it. Don't deny it. Keep going deeper within. Realize it's me. Realize what I need to work on it, make progress, and practice Krishna consciousness in an uplifting, progressive way. This is what we're here for. So I think that's a good place to stop. It's coming up to 6:45 or 8:45 if we're in So thank you all very much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And I'll hand it over to Kirtika Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this. And I could relate very well to all the things that you said because it actually also happened to me and my experiences. So thank you very much. Are there any questions or comments? I think everybody is, yes, Divyesh Prabhuji, are there any questions? You have to unmute.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Just saying thank you very much for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Any more
Hare
questions?
Krishna. Thank you again. It was a wonderful class, lot of realizations. So many things I was reflecting on myself and was thinking, yes, this is me. You know, with so many anarthas and so many things, you know, I'm just tied up when in reality it's all given by Krishna and we have to think on that aspect. And again, as you said, you know, not looking at devotees' fault. When we do that, it means something is wrong with ourselves. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mataji.
And not only devotees, Prabhuji, even a day-to-day interaction with other people, I've realized that, I mean, devotees are very far away from me because I'm only starting just now from a very basic platform. But even when I interact with other people who are not devotees and I see, okay, yes, this is my anartha. So, yes, Prabhuji, thank you for these realizations. And when we reflect and introspect, we realize our anarthas. Any more additions or questions? Prabhuji, this is a core group of 10 to 15 devotees every day, but we put our sessions on YouTube. And just to let you know that 2 weeks ago when you gave your class, there were 250 people who watched it.
Oh,
So when you give a class, it's not just us. There are 300 people waiting to listen to it.
Hari Bol, Prabhu, your classes are really, I always look forward to. As soon as I see your name, I always say to myself, I must not miss this. Because they are very much based on practicality. Like the classes are here, some are quite philosophical, and I rather prefer those practical examples because then they really touch us and then helps us change if we are at all, a thought process it gives us. Thanks.
well, thank you for your kind encouragement. Both of you, Vishaka Mataji and Kirtika Mataji. It's really uplifting to hear. Thank you so much.
You speak from your heart, Prabhuji, that's why. And when you give your examples, it sticks.
I mean, there's a lot of dirt inside, so I feel like by just saying it, hopefully Krishna will help me overcoming it.
We wish we can walk on your footsteps.
Oh, not mine. Not mine. Jai.
Any more questions or comments? Okay, if there are no more questions or comments, we can end the session. Can I request Arya Govind Prabhuji? Prabhuji, is it possible for you to close this session?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna
Thank you so much. I just came late from office, and then we have started a small center in Nakuru.
Wow.
And some devotees are there at the center now, and then some preaching was going on, so I had to go there and then make some arrangements. So excuse me for not coming in time. Okay, and I just joined at about 20-25 minutes ago, and then I could realize that how the devotees were glued to your class, and then the realization I was just hearing from Kirtika Mataji and Vishaka Mataji. So thanks for this wonderful class, Prabhuji. We look forward to your class every week. Let's unmute and then chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once in glorification of His Grace Kanannajba Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. There is a question from Avinash Prabhuji. He was on the train, so he couldn't ask this question. But he's asking, what are your views on saving for rainy days, especially for grahasthas?
Yeah, thank you, Avinash Prabhu. So nice that you're on the call, even though you're on a train. And it's been nice catching you at the manor and seeing you around. It's really nice. So yeah, I think this is answered by Rupa Goswami, and Prabhupada speaks about it in the Nectar of Instruction, that we should give 50% of our, the goal is to give 50% of our income to Krishna conscious projects. 25% we should save for rainy days, just like you said, and 25% we should spend on our simple lifestyle. So this is the program that's been given by Rupa Goswami. I remember in 2004, Shiva Ram Maharaj gave a class on this, and he said that the devotee who gives 50% of his income to, he is non-different to a full-time pujari at the temple.
Wow.
The same. It's the same. So we think it's not where we are, it's where our consciousness is. If I'm working for Krishna, you can be a pujari doing full-time DT service, or if you're giving 50% of your income to Krishna because you just believe in the and what Prabhupada's saying in this purport, you want to donate, it doesn't have to be donate to just one place. It can be to the preaching, the propagation of Lord Chaitanya's movement throughout the world. So if we do the 50% and then we save 25% for the rainy days, and then we spend 25%, that's the formula given by Rupa Goswami. And even if we're not there yet, the closer we move towards that, the happier we will feel. And we'll feel the experience. And because we feel the experience, it will be satisfying to the heart. So I hope that's okay, Avinash Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Prabhuji, are you going, Prabhuji? I interrupted.
It's okay. We're just chanting the Maha Mantra, and we can close this session. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful realizations.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhischa kripasindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavinda ki jai, ISKCON Eldoret ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Bo. Good night. Hare Krishna. Take care. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Enjoy your walk, Prabhuji.
Nakuru, Prabhu, seek
Thank
all
you.
devoted blessings for Nakuru.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.